I'm going to give you a bit of a running demonstration. I'm going to talk about L brackets and brackets for the camera, and especially the Atoll from Silence Corner. This has been an absolute game changer for me. I've did a couple of videos on this already, a silver one and a black one. The silver one is actually mounted to my camera at the moment, which I use on my daily camera. And I've also got the black one, which is here to show you. And I want to show you what the Atoll is, what it does, and how I think it's an absolute game changer to my photography, but it's not foolproof. Okay, I've got all my other cameras set up as well. I've got my original camera, my original is X-T3 is here with an L bracket on the side. You can see I've got an L bracket mounted on it, so it's a small rig L bracket on the Sunwayfoto tripods and heads. I've got all sorts of gear here. But yeah, we've got the small rig bracket, standard L bracket with the Arca Swiss compatible plate screwed onto the bottom, and then you've got the L piece on the back, which means you can then unscrew the back and turn it over and flip it over. I'm going to show you my likes and dislikes about that. I then got my modified version. This is the modified version of my X-T4. I'm sure if you follow me on my landscape YouTube channel, you know that I've been using this for a couple of years. This is my modified version of the L bracket. Again, it's a small rig L bracket. On the bottom, it has a plate screwed to it to fit on the Peak Designs capture clip, which I'm going to show you that as well. So that's an additional part screwed to the bottom of there, and then on the end you've got the L bracket, which I've then moved away because this one has the flippy screen and you couldn't spin the screen round with the standard L bracket, so I made a small bar on the bottom, thanks to, I think it was Trevor who gave me the idea. I made a small bar and I modified lots of different L brackets now. People keep contacting me, so if you're interested, let me know. If you've got a standard L bracket like this and it doesn't work, and I'm going to explain why in a moment, then yes, do ask me and I can make you one. But yeah, this is my modified version. Absolute game changer that was for me. And then come along this, the Atoll. The Atoll's now on my workhorse camera. Again, I was saying this one's got a Peak Design. This has actually got Peak Design's clip designed built into the actual bracket. And this, as you can see, is very different. It's a very different shape. Now, the idea behind the Atoll is it's a circular L bracket. Does that make any sense to you? No, it doesn't make any sense. It's a circular L bracket, if you like. It's got the L bracket function, but it doesn't have the L bracket shape and size. It's circular, and what the idea is, you mount this part to the tripod, like you can see on the front of this one. It has the standard Peak Designs style plate in the back, and I'm going to show you how this works. And then you screw this to your camera. You may find if you've got an X-T5 like me, you need to buy the additional step plate. This basically goes between the two and steps it up, which brings the ring down to the center of your lens. Without this, it's not quite central, so you have to have this. But again, I've actually modified mine to fit onto another bracket. It's actually on a small rig bracket as well, so it automatically gives me that height and that drop. So yeah, that's how you set them up. And it doesn't connect to your lens, this connects to the camera, and I will show you this as well. Does not connect to the lens. Do not worry about your lenses being damaged or broken or taking stress. This connects to the body of the camera like any other L bracket. I mean, the idea with this is it's very quick and easy, and there are no anything around the ends of the camera like these to stop you from operating your camera. So let me just give you a quick demonstration of why I like this, what its pros are and what its cons are. So first of all, starting off with this one, this is the standard small rig L bracket. You have the bracket that comes across the bottom of the plate, bottom of your camera. You screw it into your 1/4 inch thread. You've got your opening for your battery tray, and then you've got a piece on the end of it which gives you your L shape, which is a small Arca Swiss compatible, so you can go from this position, you can undo it, spin it round, and you can put it in this position. Now, the problem I have with this is, yes, it's very strong, it's very secure, it really works really well, but I can't get to the bottom of my lens, my back screen, there you go, to get it open. Okay, this is a very, very strong, very, very sturdy design, but when this rear screen is in, unless you've got fingernails like I have, big fingernails, you can't get this screen out to operate it. And if I want to shoot higher than my eye level, undo this. If I want to shoot higher than my eye level and in a vertical position, and the screen only goes up, I can't actually see inside this, so it becomes next to useless. Okay, now you can use automatic, you know, you can use your phone for a screen, but it's just not ideal for setting up a composition. So that's your basic standard L bracket. It causes a problem. It's not so much of a problem when you've got the screen on a normal landscape position, you know, it works fine. But that was my issue, that was my problem with this L bracket. I used it, you know, I got by, but until the next day come along, you know, the next generation, I didn't realize this was a big problem, and it was a big problem. So okay, we're going to move on to this one. This is the L bracket. This is on a quick release plate, so I can get it off very, very fast. I don't have to mess around with unscrewing these tripod things, you know, making sure they're tight. This is a quick release, very, very quick, very, very easy. You basically pop it open, you flip it round, and you put it on your L bracket. Okay, so again, this one is a standard L bracket, as you can see there. On the bottom, I've got the Peak Designs clip. This Peak Designs clip, I'm going to show you quickly what it does. I have one on my big bag, as you've all seen, but I brought my smaller bag in just to give you a bit of an idea, and I'm working in a very small confined space here. So you have your capture clip on your strap of your bag, and then you take your camera, and then you can just lock this onto your capture clip, and you can carry this around on your bag very, very simple and very, very easily. That's the idea behind having these. Now you can buy those little capture clip plates and the plates. You can either buy them straight from Peak Designs, which is what this bracket is, or you can buy the plates independently. So I've got one on each camera sort of thing. I buy them separately. These ones from Small Rig, the Falcon, F38s. These go on the bottom. So I screw these on the bottom, and that means I can then lock this into my bag, and I can carry my lenses. I've got one mounted to the bottom of this lens as well. As you can see there, there's one on the bottom there, so I can actually drop that on, and that will stay on there when I'm walking around with the camera. Okay, so it works very, very, very easy and simple, and I like the Peak Designs design, and I've now got that stuck, so let's just get that off. And that's how that works. So remember, every time I talk about Peak Design, it's about these clips. You can have them on your waistband, on your camera bags, you can have them on anything. For a very, very fast, very strong, very, very secure way of locking your camera to your bag or anything. Okay, and very easy to get to. So yeah, on the bottom of this, like I said, you've got that screwed on. So that's an additional cost to be added to the bottom of the bracket. It then makes it non-flat, but it does fit in any orientation. The L bracket, I said I've modified. You can see there that there's a small bar on the back. This bar is about 50mm long, and it's moved my L plate from the side of the body, which means I can get into the flaps very, very easily. There's nothing in the way of the flaps there. Plus, when it's on, I can flip this round into a vertical position, very, very simply, very, very strong. It's still as strong as this one, but the difference with this is I can get underneath and flip the screen. Now, this has a flippy screen on it anyway, which means I can look down on the camera if I've got the camera high in the air. I love this screen because I can flip this screen round like that, and I can look high in the air. So this screen for me is absolutely brilliant for landscape photography, even though a lot of people don't like it. But the beauty with this is, with this having this little thumb piece that you can flip out, there is now nothing here. I can get hold of it and flip the screen out very, very quickly and very, very easily, but I've got a different camera obviously mounted on it at the moment. So that's how that one works. It works very, very simple. I also mentioned these little red things. You might see them on my cameras a lot. These are also the Peak Designs. These are the same, they clip onto a camera strap. So without having the normal metal strap, I can just clip a camera strap on and flip it over my shoulder if I need to, which is very, very rare, or a wrist strap. Very rare I have to do that. But that's basically the L bracket for that. Very, very strong, very, very sturdy, and nothing in the way to be able to use your screen and to use your flaps on the side and all sorts. Really, really good. Then you move on to this. This, for me, was the game changer. I'm just going to make myself a little bit of space. This for me was the game changer. This is the Atoll. As you can see, the Atoll this is the silver one, and I have the black one as well. The black one's very, very pretty with a silver knurling around the edge. This is designed very similar to L brackets. It's got an Arca Swiss compatible plate on the front, like I said, on the front there. This then slots in. Now the difference with this one and this is your plate has to be sideways on because it goes on this way rather than this way, and there is a reason behind that. So you put it on here there, and the camera is then mounted on to your tripod. Very, very good and very secure. Now I've got nothing on the side here, so all my flaps can be opened very, very easily. When I can put my finger in there, get my flaps in there, there's nothing to stop me plugging things in very, very easily. The cable releases on this side, so you know you can get in there. There's nothing on this side. My straps are then fine and clear and open. I can get to my screen. I can pull my screen out and flip my screen up very, very simply, even with gloves on, because there is nothing in the way to be getting on the edge of the screen. Now, what do you say? How do you get this? If there's no L bracket, how am I supposed to take my tripod, flip this round like this? How am I supposed to get a shot like that? Beauty of it is you undo this screw on the side and you flip it round. Ta-da! That is so good. It's so clever. Absolutely love this design. If I want to go back, I just literally flip it round and it's back, which has its massive benefit to the fact that you don't have to then fumble around undoing this, turning it round and clipping it back on again. You know, it's as quick as flipping it round. Now, you don't even have to lock it off. I can flip it round to that position. I can get the shot, click, and then I can flip it back again. I haven't missed any action. The speed of that is so fast, I haven't missed any action to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds. Okay, that takes that to flip round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5 seconds. So you're looking at 3 to 5 seconds to flip this camera around. One. So simple, so easy to use. There is a fault. There is a slight design fault, if you like. With the L bracket, it is mounted very, very solidly to a very solid piece of metal. In high winds and long lenses, you're going to get a good solid mount off of this. Now, when you use a long lens, to be honest, if you've got a proper long lens, it's actually mounted on these extra plates anyway. You've got the Arca Swisscom plate, or like I say, I've got the Peak Designs clip on the bottom. So your lens is then mounted to your tripod and your camera goes on the back. Okay, so this is what makes the longer lenses secure, because they're mounted off the lens and not off the camera. Okay, with this, you'll find that if you put a long lens on, you're going to get a little bit of vibration. Because you have this slight piece of movement or flex in the bottom of the plate, you will get a little tiny bit of wind vibration movement. Now, I've not had this. I've not suffered with this. I don't have an issue with this. But I have had a report back from someone that went to Iceland, and he reported back with long lenses on this design, in high winds, in somewhere like Iceland, he's getting a bit of vibration. That is something you need to bear in mind. I've not been out in a high wind yet, but I will putting this to test. But to be honest, image stabilizer on, not a problem. I don't think there's enough flex in it to worry about, and when it's on a 2-second timer, it'll be fine. I'm sure that in time these things will get beefed up even stronger, but for me, the speed that I can do that is phenomenal. But not only that, I can have my tripod way up in the air. Okay, and this screen only flips up like that, all right? Which means now I cannot see in my screen to set up my composition. Okay, this is a massive problem for me, because I like having the tripod high sometimes. Well, you literally get hold of the Atoll and you can spin your camera all the way around. Game changer. I would sacrifice a little bit of wind vibration in those odd 1 or 2 days where I've got high winds and I'm maybe in Iceland if I'm so lucky, for the aid to be able to flip that way. Not only that is, if you've got your camera set right down low on an underslung tripod, so you're shooting right down low to the floor and you want to shoot macro or something really right down low underneath your tripod, where you hang your tripod underneath, you can actually then flip this all the way up. So your camera, bearing in mind when it's up the other way, would then be the right way up. Have you ever tried using your camera upside down? Yes, I know where all the buttons are, but it is really mind-bending to try and remember which side the camera's on. Is it now on the left, it's on the right, and that's the top, that's the bottom. It's hard work, but this means you can flip your camera all the way around and have it set exactly where you want it. But not only that, if we go back to this and my camera strap on my bag, remember I said I had my Peak Designs clip on my bag, this comes off. You have to flip it round, so what I do is I flip it round one and then I take it off. Okay, it just basically moves this plate away from the bottom, and then this fits straight on my strap. Okay, this has got the clip, everything's still mounted to it, and this has got the clip on the bottom, design there, ready built in to go on to any Peak Designs clip and I can then carry that around with my L bracket on. I don't have to add or buy an additional item, it's already fixed to that. Then all I do is when I put it on my tripod, I put it back on my tripod, and then I'm ready to go. 1 second of flipping it round. I think the design for the Atoll, the Silence Corner Atoll, I think is an absolute brilliant idea and a total game changer to using the camera. There's nothing around the edges to get in your way. The speed of going in from horizontal to vertical, from vertical to horizontal is just is immense. I mean, yes, this never took me long to do, especially on the clips. It didn't take long at all. I mean, this one takes a lot longer. You know, you've got to unscrew it, you've got to turn it round, you've got to get it in position, you've got to screw it back in. And what you've got to remember is on these ones, when you've got these flippy screens, they have these little cutouts on the back where you get your finger in, supposedly get your finger in, except for when it's up this way. And that cutout can actually be a problem with centralising it and getting it in a strong position. Normally you have to sort of put it off centre. The beauty with having this is, once you've got this lined up to your subject, it's directly in front of you. The second you flip that round, it is still directly in front of you. That lens, if you look at that lens is not moving height, it's not moving position. It is exactly in the same position as anything else. Whereas this lens, if I now take this off, you can see the position there, it's roughly in the line with the top of the camera. If I now take this off and I drop this down, you can now see that this lens has dropped and it's now a little bit lower. Okay, so there is a difference in that. And you have to remember to keep tightening these up. Is this tight? Is this not tight? I mean, this is why I don't use these screw-on clamps anymore. I like the lock-on clamp. Is it tight? You know, is it going to fall off? This one's on. I've not touched this. This is locked on, it stays on, and it's solid and it's tight. And all I do is just move that camera around on the top of the Atoll with this little tiny thumb screw on the side, and you basically spin it round. Okay, that is as simple as it is. It's got a click in, you can hear it clicks into position, and once it clicks into position, you just lock it off. Okay, very, very simple, very, very easy to use. Now, there is been questions, I've had questions, and what about, you know, it's attached to the lens and blah, blah, blah. It is not attached to the lens. Okay, so if I take this lens off of this camera, I can get my fingers on it. Okay, if I take that lens off the camera, so I've got a spare lens to use, I can then put my finger in, take this lens off, and you can see it's still attached to the camera. There's nothing untoward there, and then I can put the other lens in, and away I go. The camera is now ready to go, horizontal or vertical, with the other lens on. Now, I am going to say this, and I'm going to always be honest with everything I say. With the Fuji system, you use the old style ratchet on the lens for adjusting your aperture. Now, with the Fuji system, you can see that this ring can actually become in line with the aperture ring. On this lens, the aperture ring's slightly in a different position, so it can be a slight finger nipper, you know, but I've worked it out. In this position it works fine. On other cameras, this ring is designed to go right back to the back, because if you don't have the thumb wheel on the side there, if you don't have this on your camera, then you can attach it really, really tight to the body, which means you don't get that vibration. It's only the vibrations only on, it seems to be on the Fuji system, because the Fuji system is designed on the XTs to be slightly further away from the body to compensate for the aperture ring on the front. But I just wanted to go and explain what I've got here and explain what the Atoll is and what it does and how it works. There is one other small problem which could be a problem to you. It's not a problem to me because I've got the XT4. If I want to use a lens with a bracket on it, or a big red badge lens like this one, for instance. Let's take this one off. This is the red badge 16 to 55. The problem we've got at the moment, and it is at the moment because I know that they are working on it. The problem we've got at the moment is that the red badge lenses don't fit. Okay, so this is a little bit tight to get the red badge lenses in because you've got it so far away from the body. If this was closer to the body, this wouldn't have an issue, but the way this is tapered, it does have a slight problem with getting that in there. So there is an issue. I'm not going to lie, it's not 100%, it's not totally foolproof, but for me, I don't use them when I'm out and about. I use standard lenses, and it fits all my standard lenses very, very well. The only other issue you've got is if you've got a camera mounted lens like this, where the lens is it has its own mounting bracket on it. That mounting bracket obviously will not go through this bracket. Okay, so you have to remember that, and it will not take this. Okay, so there is a slight variation, but if you're just like me, you use this camera every day, you have 3 or 4 lenses that fit inside that ring, this is an absolute perfection to the art of photography. I think it's brilliant, easy and simple to use. So that's your Atoll. These are my L brackets, and again, if you like this idea of modifying it as well, just give me a shout and I'm sure I can help you out. XT4, XT5, I've already done the brackets. I've just recently done a Nikon Z6, Z7. I've just done brackets for that, for a guy in Germany who asked me. So yeah, I can have a look and see if I can help you out if that's the case. But for me, the Atoll is a game changer. Right, that's it. Long enough. I've been talking for what? 20 minutes trying to explain all this. Any questions, please ask me. Don't forget, like and subscribe, give us that thumbs up, and I will do my utmost to try and sort you out if you have an issue. I will drop some links down in the description and a discount code. This retails at somewhere around £80, I think it is. But you do get the capture clip on it, whereas the L brackets, I think they're about £60–70, and then you have to pay £20 for one of these, so it's very similar in price. Yeah, the prices, there's price variations everywhere, but I think you're getting a lot for this, just the pure fact that I can spin it any direction I want. It doesn't matter where I spin this camera, I can lock it off and use it. Ciao for now, see you soon.